How to catch a cheating spouse. Do you need to find out if your spouse is being unfaithful? Are you sick of putting up with lies, yet uncertain what to do? If your partner is in fact cheating on you, and you want solid evidence right now, then you have to hear everything I'm going to share with you. It's that important. Before I go any further, understand that I've been in your shoes myself. So believe me when I say, I know what it's like lying awake for countless nights, unable to get rid of the repulsive thoughts of where your lover has been, who they might be with, and even worse, the intimate possibilities that run rampant in your head. I know what it's like to go weeks, even months without intimacy, feeling starved of any kind of affection. The lack of communication is devastating, as if a coldness has swept over your entire relationship, feeling disconnected and wondering, do they even care? I know how excruciating it is to carry this emotional burden all day, while things continue to get worse at home, at work, with associates, family, and friends. Everywhere you go, you can't seem to escape the fear, pain, and anger of your nagging suspicion. What it is emotional torture. When you have found yourself in the position where you think your spouse may be cheating on you, you need to find out exactly what is going on. You need to learn what they've been doing, when they've been doing it, who they've been doing it with, and how long it's been going on. You need to see concrete proof with your own eyes. The doubt, the not knowing, is what will eat you alive if you don't verify what your gut is telling you. At the same time, you have to be careful about how you go about a serious task like this. Whether you are right or wrong about your partner's unfaithfulness, one thing for sure is the decisions you make and the actions that you take or that you don't take will surely have consequences which will affect the direction and course of the rest of your life. Now, before we go any further, you have to ask yourself a few questions. What specifically has led you to believe that something inappropriate is going on in your relationship? How long do you suspect something has been going on? Do you think the problem is getting better or worse? What have you done so far to try and address and or correct the problem? How much would you say the situation, whether your suspicions are true or not, has cost you so far, emotionally, financially, and physically? More importantly, how much will it cost from here on out if you don't take some decisive action based on accurate information? Whether your partner has just started having an affair, has been having an affair for a while, or has just ended an affair, it doesn't matter. You need the solid evidence that will leave no room for excuses or alibis. Based on my experience in this business, I am so confident in our abilities to find out the truth in these kinds of matters that we have become the only private investigation company that I know of that offers a full 100% guarantee, even though my attorney strongly suggested that I don't do that. You will learn the truth. I realize that's a bold claim, but it's absolutely true. We can discover the truth more quickly and accurately than you may have ever imagined, and here's why. Our methods have been learned through years of concentrated work in this field. We deal with the cheating mind every day. We've dealt with every breed of cheater. Not only that, we are objective enough to stay calm, whereas you are probably a bit too close to the action. We're experienced enough to keep a step ahead, yet passionate enough to stay on the path until we find out what we're after. We've got the best and most effective equipment available to get the job done, and we know how and when to use it. We have all the high-tech equipment and tools, the covert cameras, the long-distance scopes, the GPS trackers, and some things that you've probably never heard of. We are the only private investigation company in the state that utilizes third-generation night vision scopes with our cameras. Why would that be important to you? How much value will it be to you to be able to tell your cheating spouse that your private investigator saw them doing the act, when, had the investigator been better equipped, you could show them? Not to mention the value of video as leverage when put forth as a bargaining chip in later negotiations. A lot of times, people will try to be their own private investigators, and sometimes this pays off. But I would submit to you that in most cases, this is not a wise approach for several reasons. First of all, I want you to consider something: your present state of mind. As I stated earlier, if you are at all human, you are probably not entirely on top of your game, mentally or emotionally. Your nerves are frayed and raw. You're probably on the verge of exhaustion. Your diet is probably not the most nutritious, if you even have an appetite at all. And most importantly, your mind is stuck on an endless, looping track, mulling over the whole situation you've become a victim of. You're too close to the action to see it objectively enough to take the most effective action. Your perspective of the situation is most likely so warped by your raw nerves that you are bound to unnecessarily overanalyze some things, while missing other key clues or critical indicators. Will hiring me really work for you? Our success at catching cheating husbands and cheating wives has been proven time and time again. Okay, so what's the catch? You not only have to actually take action to get the results you're after, but you have to know what action to take and how to take it. Not only that, you have to know what actions not to take. You know, the ones that can either blow all other chances of finding out the truth, or worse yet, land you in jail for something illegal. In many cases, people simply don't have the emotional strength to even want to know the truth. They give up and feel sorry for themselves and continue being walked over like a doormat, rather than taking control of the situation by hiring a professional who will quickly and concretely expose their lover's filthy affair for everything that it truly is. If you really want a healthy and fulfilling life, if you want to turn the corner in your life and transform yourself from being the victim to being on offense, then there is no doubt in my mind that we can help you do just that. You can't afford to be wrong. You want to know with 100% certainty if your spouse is having an affair. Just because your spouse is working late doesn't mean that they're cheating. Until you have evidence that your spouse isn't actually at work when they say they are, you are no closer to finding out. It's not enough if all you have are suspicions. You need proof, and that is what we will give you. Let me give you some concrete guidelines to follow, whether you hire us or not, moving forward. Number 1, never come right out and ask your spouse, or outright accuse them of having an affair without any evidence. They must be caught with solid evidence that they can't lie their way out of before you confront them. If you ask them, but they know you aren't quite sure, then it makes it even easier for them to tell yet another lie. Not only that, but once they know that you're onto them, they'll be even more careful from that point on. And this will make it much more difficult for you to gather hard evidence. Know your facts 100% and have concrete proof before you make accusations. Otherwise, you can do more damage than good. Oftentimes, the hardest part of these situations is facing the truth. Don't watch this video any further. In fact, leave this page right now if you aren't willing to demand respect for yourself. Because deep down inside, you know you need the truth for any healthy relationship, even if it's one you want to save. You're doing yourself a major disservice by being treated like a doormat. Don't expect the cheater to come clean. They simply will hurt you further if you stay passive. I've seen enough cases. I've been that scared, whipped spouse, and it was sickening because the cycle just wreaks havoc on your self-assurance subconsciously. This takes a tremendous toll on your emotional, social, and even physical health, especially over extended periods of time. So what's the solution? That's right, do something about it. Look out for these do-it-yourself spy camera gadgets that you'll find on the internet. I think I've seen them all, as well as the sometimes disastrous results of people who have tried private eye gadgets and amateur surveillance equipment. The risk of getting caught using these types of gadgets when you don't know what you're doing is usually not worth what could happen if things don't work out. Although the peddlers of these devices will tell you that they are easy to use, there is a significant learning curve to utilizing remote monitoring or evidence extraction devices in a non-risky manner, not to mention the legal minefields you're exposing yourself to if you use these devices and tactics. That's why professional private investigators charge thousands for their services. Do you have the time to waste, or can you afford the risk of getting caught? That's what I call playing Russian roulette with your life. Instead, here's what you're going to want to do. You need to regroup. Resolve to stay calm and in control. You see, every time you accidentally freak out on suspicious emotions, your partner will sense this and greatly tighten up his or her game. This makes your objective, which is getting concrete proof, twice as hard, because they are now going to know that you have suspicions, and their manipulations will get stronger to deflect your attention, and it's going to strangle an otherwise good relationship if your suspicions are wrong. The key is to make your partner feel confident that they are getting away with their game. When you get them to perceive that you are ignorant to what they're up to, you can lull them into leaving their guard down while you are setting a trap. Only by uncovering the truth completely can you proceed with options such as deciding to break up or salvage the relationship or marriage. But without the truth first, you can't make this decision accurately at all. Let me make another suggestion. Find a trustworthy confidant that you can vent your feelings with. Actually, the best option here is to find yourself a competent, professional counselor. Now, as a side note, if you don't feel comfortable with the first one that you go with, find another one. Just like with PIs, there are good ones out there, but there are also a lot of bad ones. As with anything else, don't settle for less than you deserve. A third-party person, unrelated to either you or your spouse, who you can talk openly with about your situation, your fears, your concerns, as well as any physical symptoms you may be suffering from during this strenuous challenge. Some people think it's a sign of weakness or that a counselor gives answers. The truth is, a good counselor will mostly ask questions instead of giving answers. The point is, you want to sort out what's going on in your life with a trustworthy sounding board. Many of the things cheating spouses actually do and say are so astonishing that a normal mind will have trouble processing the event, especially when the wrongdoer is someone you thought you knew and understood so well. Do you want to know the truth about what your spouse is up to? Are you sick and tired of feeling like a fool and being walked all over? Are you frustrated about how much thankless work you've put into trying to make your situation work? If this is you, then here's what you really need to do to transform your life and to get immediate results. I know what it takes to catch even the most difficult cheats, and I've seen firsthand what works. What do you have to lose? If you aren't 100% happy with our investigation, I don't even want your money. To put all the risk on my shoulders, I'm offering something unheard of in the private investigation industry. A 100% unconditional satisfaction guarantee. If our services don't quickly and easily find out the truth about your lover, if it isn't the most foolproof, hassle-free method that you've experienced, then I don't even want your money. That's how confident I am with this system's ease and power to uncover the whole truth for you. Now, this is not to say that we are the cheapest investigators in town. In fact, we are on the higher end price-wise. 90% of our business is referral driven, and I believe that there's a reason for that. You see, we have a step-by-step, unique process in our business, which is predictable and consistently gets results. A process you can't get anywhere else, because no other PI in the world has gone through my unique blend of 20 plus years of law enforcement experience. As I said, I'm still a full-time police lieutenant in a big city, along with over 10 years of successfully running a trusted PI business. Put that unique combination together, along with a drive fueled by my own ugly experience with infidelity, along with a competent team of people to make sure that the phone is getting answered and that the details are getting handled, and you'll discover why our clients choose us and refer us. Clients generally walk into our offices for initial consultations distraught, shell-shocked, and confused. In most cases, when we first meet with them, they are mere victims, depressed, and being taken advantage of. After hiring us, we generally see a complete transformation in clients. Instantly, they are no longer victims, but now are taking control of the situation. They are now on offense, boldly and confidently moving forward with their lives. on their way to finding out the truth, which will allow them to correctly and effectively make the critical decisions which will not only affect their lives, but those of the people around them, including their children and loved ones. Once our clients have concrete proof, they can move forward with their lives, basing their decisions on facts rather than on emotions, assumptions, and conjecture. I'll personally make sure you get the truth and concrete evidence as quickly and effortlessly as possible, as if your trouble happened to me. I'm that serious. Before you call, in order to save both of us some time, I want to make sure that you're aware of some restrictions that we have, because we don't accept every case. First, we don't accept cases where our client is a defendant or under indictment in a criminal matter. As I mentioned earlier, I'm currently a police officer, and to take such a case on would be a professional conflict of interest with that role. Additionally, it would be a personal conflict with who I am and who I choose to deal with. Next, we only handle a limited number of cases concurrently or at the same time. What this means is, if we're at our capacity of what we can currently handle, we won't be able to handle your case at the time of your call. If the case is one we would normally accept, with a retainer, we can usually put you in a queue so that your case will be next up when another opening becomes available. Finally, you should understand that as a premier investigation company, we don't negotiate on our fees, which are paid in advance and on a retainer basis. If you believe that your situation might qualify, please give me a call. I'd be interested in discussing your case with you to see if we can be of any assistance. If you call during business hours, one of my staff will take your call and forward it to either myself or another senior investigator. During non-business hours, your call will be forwarded to the cell phone of either myself or another senior investigator. I should add that calls are forwarded to a confidential voicemail after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now remember, you have nothing to lose. You're backed by my 100% satisfaction money-back guarantee. So if for any reason you're not completely satisfied, we will issue a full refund.